What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we will be discussing the possibility of a Zack Ertz trade. Yes, two teams kind of interested in him, and I'm not saying he must go to these places, but we know that Zack Ertz is a player that we're probably going to have to trade when it comes to the cap and the money, rather than letting him go for nothing. But before we get into that, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn on post notifications so you know when I go live or drop some content. Great live streams coming up, great collaborations, and we're going to have some more college interviews. And if you didn't catch the last one, let's take a quick look at my guy, Rodarius Williams. Just something he said at the end. Very humble guy, and I wish him nothing but the best. Lastly, I got one more question for you, my guy. So it's draft day. Your name gets called. What is that going to mean to you?
It's going to mean a lot, I don't know if you guys know my history, but, I come from absolutely nothing. And just to be in this position, just to be, draft eligible, guys saying, I'm getting drafted, It's just a wonderful feeling in itself, and just hearing my name called, knowing that all the work I've done, knowing that, I come from absolutely nothing off the radar, so I don't care what round, drafting me in 5th round, you're going to get a 1st round corner.
Again, shout out to my guy Rodarius Williams, Greedy Williams, the cornerback for the Cleveland Browns brother. If you haven't checked that out, it will be at the end of this, or go back and check it out. But if you support the Philly Talk Podcast, make sure you smash that like button for your boy. Let's see if we can get this over 200 likes. With all that being said, let's jump into today's topic, and it is Zack Ertz. Now, I've been trying to keep Carson Wentz's name out my mouth for the good, for the bad, because it's just getting a little bit old. I ultimately think he's going to get traded because I think we passed the comeback stage. Now, I know there are reports out there that he will be fine coming in and playing. He'll get his job done. We believe he's that type of player. Where were these nice things to say about him last week or the week before? So we'll definitely have to see that situation. But there is 2 trade scenarios, one being the Colts. And if you're talking about trading Zack Ertz to the Colts, you also talking about trading Carson Wentz to the Colts. And I think that actually ups both their values. We know that the Colts offered 2 second-round picks and a 3rd for Carson Wentz. But if you package Zack Ertz with Carson Wentz, it has to increase the value by a decent margin because you're getting 2 guys who are on the same wavelength. Now, Zack Ertz had a down year last year, but you can blame a couple things. The team was trash, he was hurt, and he was going through contract negotiations, and that's pretty much where we have to start. Zack Ertz wanted to get paid after his final deal's up or a year before, and we don't got the cap money to do that. Now, I know Howie Roseman promised him, and he deserves it. He's definitely top 4, maybe top 3. You can possibly put him over Waller, Kelsey, Kittle, or them 2. I still think Ertz is 3 over Waller, but I can't say that for 2020. I'm talking career. I'm talking when he's healthy. But when you look at Zack Ertz, we cannot allow him to leave the Eagles for free. We need to get something back because we are in this rebuild or retooling era under Nick Sirianni and possibly Jalen Hurts, who knows? But I'm telling you, if you trade both Carson Wentz and Zack Ertz, it has to raise the value. Do we get 1 first and something else? Do we get 2 first and something else? By themselves, Zack Ertz at this age, he's only going to be able to help a team that wants to compete now. He probably got a solid 3 to 5 years. Tight ends have been able to extend their shelf life, I should say, in the NFL, and he's definitely sure-handed. And if you got targets on the outside or a run game, it's going to open it up for Zack Ertz. Another reason Zack Ertz's numbers were down is when he did play, we used him to block. We would have 7, 8-man protections and we still couldn't block people. It was ridiculous. We had our own offensive lineman sacking Carson Wentz and blah, 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 blah. But back to Zack Ertz. Again, if you trade him to a team by himself, I think the value is going to be iffy because teams know we have to trade him. So they're going to have the leverage. But with Carson Wentz, you can really raise both their prices just for what they do for each other and with each other. Now, let's go to the Seattle Seahawks deal where I heard it was also with Dillard, which is interesting. We know Jordan Mailata stepped up pretty big time this year at the left tackle position. He's able to move around and play a bunch of different positions. But here's my take. Andre Dillard is not done. Was he a little soft? Is he a little soft up here? Yes, but I did see signs of a pretty good left tackle. He has to work on the bull rush. He has to get a little bit stronger. But that's what you got to do as a young player. However, Seattle really needs offensive line. They have everything on that team except for two things, a tight end and an O-line. And Russell already voiced his opinion on being sacked a lot of times in 2020. And I think if they want to fix this relationship and not have him looking elsewhere, you need to get him a tight end and some O-line. So Andre Dillard, being a former first-round pick, a guy who showed potential but also showed some downside, could be an intriguing option for a team like Seattle who feels confident they can get him going. And when you look at Zach Ertz, like I said, his shelf life is probably a solid couple years. And that's why people are saying, but we use 2 tight end sets. Why are we getting rid of them? It comes down to this. There's going to be faces that we have to get rid of. Maybe a Brandon Graham if he doesn't restructure. Maybe a Derek Barnett, Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, Malik Jackson. There's going to be players that we just got to let go just because of the situation. And Zach Ertz, even though he's an all-time tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, cried for the city. I cried for him when he caught that touchdown in the end zone. We just got to go our separate ways this year because it doesn't make sense to bring him back when you do have Dallas Goedert, when you do have tight end 2 and Richard Rodgers, if we need to bring someone back who can be productive if you need him in that 40% 12-man personnel role. But back to Seattle. I mean, could you imagine Zach Ertz in Seattle's offense? This guy would thrive. You have DK Metcalf on one side, Tyler Lockett taking the top off. He will get single coverage and eat. Zach Ertz the last 3 or 4 years have been the focal point of an offense. Safeties watch him, corners watch him, linebackers bracket him. They do whatever it takes to stop this man. If you got to put a double on DK, if you got to keep a safety over the top, I know Zach Ertz don't get no yak and we make fun of him for that. But the dude will destroy single man coverage across the middle all day, every day. All day, every day. You would see Zach Ertz come out and have a breakout year again. Maybe not eclipsing 1,000 yards because of the receivers they got out there, but he will be a monster. Probably up his yards per catch. Definitely being able to beat linebackers or single coverage, whatever you want to throw his way with them 2 studs on the outside. And let's not forget the run game. Chris Carson, very dominant. They just need 2 things, and we got something. So again, if you're throwing in a double package of Andre Dillard and Zach Ertz, I know they got leverage on us with Zach Ertz knowing we got to get rid of him. They know that. Andre Dillard, on the other hand, is a very cheap offensive lineman because he's still on his rookie deal. So we got leverage on the Andre Dillard thing, and they might have leverage on Zach Ertz until we say this. Don't you want to let Russell Wilson make decisions? Don't you want to make him feel good? Don't you know how much Zach Ertz on your team would up this offense? If we were giving Zach Ertz to another team, they might have leverage. But because it's the one thing that Seattle's missing, I think we could throw in a little wrinkle and get a decent pick for it. They have to want to win now. Russell Wilson is in his prime now. Zach Ertz got 3 or 4 more good years. It could easily be done. But again, we trade him to Seattle. We get good in 2 or 3 years. And then Zach Ertz beats us. That will be demoralizing. But it is what it is. That's why when you do trade a guy who's done so much and is pretty darn good, but you just can't afford him, you try to ship him out of your conference. And the Colts would be a great destination for them too, because the only place we would see them is the Super Bowl. It is what it is. But that's my thoughts on the situation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If we had the money, I would like to keep Zach Ertz. But realistically, we don't have the money. We're not going to be able to get it done. So I'm all for getting the best option, the most valuable trade that we can pick up for Zach Ertz. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment sections. Ertz the Colts, Ertz the Seahawks. Let me know what you think. Until next time, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. You know what time it is. We out.